Welcome to the Random Green Channel. Today I wanted to go over the 2024 University of New Mexico gridiron football program. So, last few years they've struggled. However, anytime you bring in a new coach in Bronco Mendenhall to take over the program, well, he wanted to take over and he wanted to have a little bit of a challenge. And he will get a challenge. Again, New Mexico, they've historically they haven't been bad. They produce pretty good football players. And even the NFL, Brian Urlacher, a Hall of Famer at linebacker. And I didn't really get a chance to look who they return because actually I don't even know. Last year I don't think they went 2-10. So to say that they return a lot of starters off a 2-10 program or 2-10 the year before, the season before, is not really impressive. I mean, if they were 10-2 and they had a bunch of guys returning, it'd be a little bit of a different story. But anytime, it's a new season, just because last year wasn't a success and it was a struggle, in the record wise anyway. Maybe they had, I wasn't there for all the games. I probably didn't watch a single New Mexico game. I probably watched maybe a few plays here or there. But again, if you're a fan, that you've seen it and you've seen it could have been a game where they should have won. They had turnovers and all that. But enough of the prelude. Let's go right to the predictions. So again, Bronco Mendenhall, his first year at the University of New Mexico. So they open up with a tough 1AA team at home against Montana State. This game could go either way. Now, Montana State is one of the better 1AA programs. And those 1AA programs are really, really good, and they come to play. Especially when they know they play a division that's a little bit above them, or a lot above them. Who knows? But it's open to interpretation how big the difference is. And I say, well, there's not really a big difference when it comes to these really good 1AA programs. So, I think this is going to be a really tight game, but I just can't see Montana State getting beat in this game. I think Montana State has a lot to prove. They had a playoff game last year. I think a game they shouldn't have lost, and I could be wrong on that. Again, it's hard to keep track. I say New Mexico gets beat in this game. Then they play at Arizona. And Arizona will probably wallop New Mexico. But they do have a bye. And then they go at Auburn to face the War Eagle and the Auburn Tigers. Now, New Mexico State, a different team in a different year, went to Auburn and beat them last year pretty soundly. I think it was like 31-10 or 31-17. It was like 31-7, somewhere around there. They actually beat them by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I say that they don't go there they don't go there. I mean, New Mexico State went there last year, so it's completely different. And you think, this has to be, a New Mexico team went there last year. New Mexico State University beat them last year. So, I'm going to have to say that they don't win and they get beat at Auburn. It's a bold prediction. Now they come home and play Fresno State. Fresno State is not. They were actually really decent a couple of years ago. Then they just kind of fell off. I just can't say that they're going to beat Fresno State at home, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll say that you beat Fresno State and they beat them by a point. I don't know what the score will be, 33-32 or 35-34, something like that. They win in overtime. They get their first win. Then they play at New Mexico State. Now I want to do the predictions for New Mexico State, but I don't think they have a lot of returning starters at New Mexico or for New Mexico State Aggies. So I can't say the Lobos are going to go in there and beat New Mexico State. So at this point, they get beat after a really a jubilant game against Fresno State. They win. They come back, and they fall to New Mexico State. Then they have a bye. Then Air Force at home. Air Force, as you know, is a pretty decent squad. They always have a decent program. Not always. I mean, they're always going to have a season here or there. But and I don't know. Actually, I think last year, I think Air Force maybe wasn't that good. I could be wrong. I don't think they made a bowl. I mean, I probably am wrong again. Boy, you could look at something like a few minutes ago, and it's hard to keep track, or a few days ago, I should say. But but I say they get beat against Air Force, so 1-5 at Utah State. I say they get a W. They win against Utah State. So at this point, they're 2-5 at Colorado State. I don't think they beat Colorado State. I think Colorado State beats them. I think Colorado State's going to be an improved team. They're getting better with Jay Norvell, and I think that they fall to Colorado State to go 2-6 at this point. 2-6. Wyoming comes into Albuquerque, and the Cowboys beat the Lobos by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I feel that this year it's going to be a work in progress, or Bronco Mendenhall. Can't even say Bronco Mendenhall, and it will be a tough game for them against Wyoming. They fall to Wyoming. They fall to 2-7 at San Diego State. And San Diego State, now there's a team that they could probably match up well with, but it's on the road. So on the road, I say they don't win. So they get beat. It'll be a close game, a lot of plays, but it could be a really entertaining game. But they just find a way to lose. And then Washington State comes into town. Washington State, as you know, is a big Pac-12 program, and Pac-12 was dissolved. They are in the Mountain West, and I say Washington State. They're going to probably beat them pretty good. And at this point, they're 2-9. They have a bye. Then they play the last game at Hawaii, and I say they win. So they find a way to win against Hawaii, and they go 3-9. Now, keep in mind, these are just predictions. So I hope I am wrong for New Mexico fans, the University of New Mexico. They always have pretty cool uniforms. I always like that red and silver. Can't go wrong with that. But anyway, good luck, New Mexico fans. You know what? They might actually be better, and hopefully they are. So remember, these are just predictions. Thank you all for watching the Random Green channel.